Hey, greetings, fellow nerds. I am a nerd fighting fat, and this is my weekly fat fighting update. I am doing alternate day fasting, I'm working out, I'm watching my sugar, and this is my 28th week of being on Mounjaro, and I'm currently on the 10 milligram pen. So you guys probably noticed I added a disclaimer to the start of this these updates now. I had a friend that watched one of my videos, and he thought that was a good suggestion to do that. You know, to me, it's kind of common sense. I always verify everything. Um, I try to research the pros and cons. I talk to my doctor about my plans. I use monitors to monitor continuous glucose monitor for my blood sugars. I measure my ketones when I'm fasting. I monitor my heart rate, my oxygen levels, my temperature, and I get blood work done regularly. And I'd suggest that you guys do that too. Definitely, if you do something drastic with your lifestyle, definitely that could affect your health. It helps to talk to your doctor, and so please do that. All right, so let's get into the numbers. So this is my personal results for this week. Um, full disclosure, I changed my weigh-in day from Wednesday to Fridays now. I changed my shot. Originally, the reason I was on Wednesdays is because that was when I first started my shots, and I've changed my shots to Friday, and I just think it would also work better to be after my fasting windows, and hopefully it'll give a little less fluctuation on water weights. And then if I try to do a 3-day fast, I'm not going to be like in the middle of that. And anyway, so just full disclosure, this is actually 10 days instead of the regular 7. But for this week, I lost 3.6 pounds, so pretty good. So that takes my Mounjaro total to 51.8 pounds. So I've now lost over 50 pounds uh, while on this medication. So that's just pretty awesome. Um, my total weight loss now is just a shade under 135, so 134.9 pounds total since I was diagnosed with diabetes. My average glucose for the week was 121, and the high was 199, so a little bit higher this week. I did take my shot a couple days late, so that was part of the effect. But then I also ate a couple meals with rice, and rice is just like, it's like sugar crack to my body. It just spikes my blood sugar, something fierce. So I got to make sure to try to avoid that better. I usually will have them skip the rice when I make a salad, or when I if I go to Chipotle, for example, or something like that. But my wife picked a burrito up for me, and it had a bunch of rice in there. I didn't realize it was going to have rice in there. Anyway, so I like rice, but I got to do better to try to avoid that, or at least make sure that it's paired with an acid like I don't know if you guys know this, but if you have like sushi, like the rice that's in sushi that uses the vinegar, they have like a rice, I think it's rice wine vinegar or something in there. Anyway, it actually has a lower glycemic index and load than regular rice. So if you get at least paired with some kind of acid or something, then that will help. But anyway, so not the best on the blood sugars, but I still managed to lose some weight, so I was pretty happy with that. Fasting, since it was this 10-day window and I shifted, I actually got 3 36-hour fasts in. Workouts, I got 5 workouts in. So side effects, again, I knowing the shot worked because I get a few of these, but the second day after my shot, I got a little burpy, gassy kind of thing going on. One trip to the restroom, but that's pretty much it. And that's pretty much what, when I first started, it was a little more intense, but now that I think my body's kind of used to this, especially I've been on the 10 milligram now for quite a while. That's about what I typically have. I am a little bit worried. I'm out of Mounjaro so my next shot is supposed to be today, or this being Friday, but I don't have any more. And I've been working with my insurance to get a PA done. There's a lot of mess going on. I don't know if you guys have tried to prescriptions lately, but these guys are kind of slammed because things aren't working in several of the systems. They're not able to hook into some of the insurance systems. They're not able to get some of these things through. So hopefully you guys are able to get the meds you need, and hopefully they get this cleaned up pretty quickly. Okay, so this week's fat fighting tool. Um, so we're going to talk about Celsius. So it's kind of a crave right now, or craze kind of going on right now. It's got 0 sugar. It has 10 calories in each one of these cans, and the cans claim on them. I'm just reading off the can here. That it has essential energy, it accelerates your metabolism, and it burns body fat. So supposedly the net effect of drinking these is negative calories. Now, I'm going to nerd out a little bit here. And so forgive me for not taking the time to grab all the references to all the studies I mentioned. Google's your friend. You should always be verifying, everything, right? I mean, that's the way to do it. But so I was just kind of like looking through the ingredients on these, and to see, these claims it has, if there's any ingredients that look like they're worthy of those claims, or if there's any of these ingredients that are maybe raising a little bit of a red flag for me. And again, everybody is different, so for your own health, but they are caffeinated quite heavily, actually. So a little bit more than a rock star. It's equivalent to about 2 cups of coffee. 200 milligrams is what's in each one of these cans. Now, caffeine, of course, is then proven to boost your energy, physical and mental. Another of the ingredients that these have is green tea extract, EGCG. I think it's like epigallocatechin gallate, something like that. Anyway, so green tea extract is basically, it's an antioxidant, right? And so antioxidants, of course, have been shown to help with aging and disease and heart health. See, I got a couple notes here. One of the studies I looked at showed that it could have decreased blood pressure and lower your triglycerides and LDL, which is pretty good. There was a negative article out there saying that a high dose can cause liver issues, so you got to make sure you don't have too high of a dose of this stuff, perhaps. So basically, the catechins and the caffeine in the green tea are shown to increase burning calories and weight loss. There's studies showing improved insulin sensitivity. Now these weren't diabetics; these were healthy people that they do these studies on. Kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting to see that same study and have a group with diabetes, so you can see if it helped there. But definitely, in general, I think there's more positives that I could see than negatives. And I've looked at green tea extract before in the past. Another one that's listed on the can is guarana seed extract. So guarana is a fruit that's down in South America. I had my brother and another friend that lived down in Brazil for a little bit, and they love the guarana sodas down there. There's a particular brand called Antarctica that's pretty dang good. They actually have a sugar-free one if you're trying to avoid the sugar too. But it's kind of the drink of choice, and they love it because it's a nice energy. And it's interesting because it's not like if you drink like caffeine, you can get like kind of jittery or something. This kind of seems to me, it was like a smoother, if that makes sense, a smoother energy. Anyway, so that's in there. They've got taurine. And taurine's kind of been in the headlines a lot lately. There's some recent study that it was done on mice, but that showed it slowed aging and lengthened lifespan. So basically, they supplemented some of these mice, and the supplemented mice lived longer and healthier lives. So they definitely need a human trial for this. The idea, I think, is that the taurine is like, it's kind of like one of these blocks that kind of help drive a lot of body functions. So they're saying it prevents weight gain, it reduces fasting glucose, it increases bone density. It's one of these that could have quite a few positives. I didn't see any negative things out there about this. Um, Again, I might have missed something, so always do your own research. But kind of an interesting thing. I was like, well, what's a natural source of taurine, right? Like, if besides just having them add it to something like this, and I was looking at the list, and it had seaweed, was the highest by far, and then there was oysters, fish, lamb, beef, chicken. Um, so it's kind of interesting. It's like, I always, this is just me, but like, you think of like the populations where they seem like they have long, healthy lives, and a lot of them eat a lot of fish and seaweed and those kinds of things. So kind of interesting. Anyways, another one that's in there was ginger root extract. Again, animal study that showed increased energy, but it was actually a lot higher dose than what's in here. So I don't know if the little bit they have in here really helps all that much. There was another one called, this is a weird name, glucuronolactone. Um, it's supposed to increase energy. There was a study that was kind of an anti one on this, that said when you combine that with taurine and caffeine, it can have a negative change to your blood pressure and insulin sensitivity. So kind of interesting there. And then, of course, they had a bunch of vitamins and minerals, biotin, chromium, C, riboflavin, niacin, the B vitamins, say B6, B12, calcium. So anyway, it's kind of an interesting thing. And I just decided to try this. They have a bunch of different flavors. Some of them aren't the best tasting. Some of them are okay. I like the Arctic chill one and the orange one the best. So I just started trying these because my wife bought a bunch. So her sister was a big fan of these, and so she wanted to get some and try them. They are sweetened with sucralose, which I think is Splenda. So not the best sweetener. I much prefer if they had like I talked about the allulose a week or so ago, or if they had stevia, another more natural one. But so if you're one of the people that this causes your insulin to rise, then keep that in mind. Again, the way that I check that is, if I'll drink a drink that I'm not familiar with, and if I have my continuous glucose monitor, if it drops my sugar, then I know it spiked my insulin. So that's kind of how you can check that. Anyway, so there was a recent class action I saw on this against them for their claims. Again, this, like, they're not medical, so it's kind of a gray area as far as a lot of these supplement claims, those kinds of things. But the class action lawsuit was because they said they have no preservatives on there, but they actually have citric acid. So yeah, it helps preserve things. These guys said it's for their flavor, but they settled the lawsuit. So anyway, FYI, that's if you see something about that, that's what it's kind of going on. Now, I did see an article about this. This is getting kind of long. Sorry, I told you I'm going to nerd out a little bit. But the dietitians are worried about that with these kinds of things. We're not thinking long term. But that really kind of bugs me, because like, these are the same dietitians that for my entire fat life told me, eat all these small meals, eat low fat, eat more carbs. And from the things I'm reading now, that was not correct advice. And so, I don't know that they say things, but then they don't really necessarily have an alternative that I'm confident in. Again, do look things up, study it, but when they say things like, to me, what's kind of funny is if they say we need to think long term versus short term, that tells me, so you're saying it works short term, which is kind of interesting. Anyhow, you guys decide. I'm trying them out. partly because my wife's buying them instead of rock stars. But to me, it looks like the positives may edge out any of the negatives. So I'm freeze drying some apples today. So I've got a friend who bought a bunch of apples and he gave me a bunch of extras because he had way more than he could use. And so I'm actually, I sliced these up with one of those apple slicers, and we're just putting these on the trays. And I'm just putting them single layer on the parchment paper. And I got way more than I can hold in my freeze dryer. I just have a medium. And so what I'm going to do with the rest of these apples is I'm going to put them on the silicone mats and put them in some extra trays that I have with some lids, and those will go in the freezer, and I'll pre-freeze those, and I'll just start these right in the freeze jar. The only thing I did besides cutting the apples is I put them in some water as I sliced them, and that had some fruit fresh and some lime juice in it, just to help with the browning so that they don't get browned as easy. So anyhow, we will show you what they look like when they come out. Just really quickly show you guys before I stick them in here. You can see I got 5 trays ready to go in the freezer right now, and I got 4 more trays ready to go in the freezer. So I'm guessing each one of these trays is about 3 large apples. So that's about 27 apples worth. So pretty cool. And we're just gonna stick these into the freeze dryer that's ready to go. And they're just gonna go into these slots here. And once that's done, I will show you the results. Okay guys, these are done. Let's see how these are. And give one a try. They're good. I did like 3 extra hours of dry time after it said they were done. So you can come over and you can kind of see the process here. I'm gonna put them in these bags and just seal them up with an oxygen absorber. And I got my sealer right here. And so then they're good to go. So I'll show you the finished product here in just a second. All right, so that's the apples. So I put them in these Mylar bags, and I know these aren't the best for long-term storage, but you can see here, you just can rip this off and it's resealable. And I don't think these are gonna last very long, to be honest. Plus I'm gonna give a couple of the bags back to my my friend that gave me the apples in the first place. So anyways, good stuff. And there's a few extras here I just put in this bottle, and you know, they're actually pretty dang good. I'm not gonna lie, but you could get in trouble, I think, eating too many of these, because it's kind of like orange juice. Drinking a glass of orange juice is like eating like 20 oranges. You could eat a lot of these in a hurry. So anyway, good stuff. So just another kind of healthy snack that my friends, the apples were going to go to waste, and so hey, you know, why not? Good stuff. All right, so that's a wrap. I am pleased that I'm still moving in the right direction. 50 pounds now since I started doing these updates on Mounjaro, so I'm in a much better place than I was when I started. So that's great. I'm not losing as quick as some people did, for sure, but that's okay. I think I'm consistently moving in the right direction. I'm feeling healthier. My clothes are fitting better, almost probably too good, right? I probably need to go get a bunch more. But I've lost, since the start of the year, since January 1st, I've lost 20 pounds. So I love it. That's great. So I'm going to be spending a little bit more time outside now. I got, check this out. So this was delivered to me this week. This is 2 big bags of dirt to top off all my garden beds with. And so I'll be shoveling that into a wheelbarrow and carting it around the yard. So get me some little extra sun and little exercise out there. So hopefully the weather cooperates. It's that time of year for where I live here in Salt Lake, near Salt Lake, that it can't quite make up its mind if it wants to be winter still or it wants to be spring. So it kind of heats up, and then we get little snow flurries and stuff, and back and forth. So anyhow, it's almost spring, which is fun time for me outside. So anyways, hope you guys are having a lot of success in your fight against fat, and keep fighting the fat, guys. Cheers.